And we're back with the Home Service Legends podcast. I'm your host, Mitch Boerner, and it's been a while. I'm sorry there was a small hiatus. There's a lot of stuff going on, right? And I think that's what we're going to talk about in today's episode. Just a reminder, 70% of you are not subscribed to the channel, so if you like this, please hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button, and send it around to your friends, and let's get going today. So today I want to talk about making it happen in a tough market. The thing that I love about this podcast is we get to talk about things that are really prevalent in today's market, things that I'm hearing out in the field, things that I'm hearing from people. And it's really nice to be able to talk about what's happening in real time. And the market is telling me that it's tough. Not only are we seeing this in our own businesses, but I'm hearing it from others. It is a tough time out there. Leads are expensive. Not that they weren't expensive before if you're in the home service industry, but they're particularly expensive now. And the subject today is how to get things going in a tough market and how, and not just have people say to you, you know, the last thing you want to do is turn off your marketing. This doesn't help us move forward. So let me share today some of the things that we're doing to move the needle, to move things forward, to get things happening when times are tough and there's a bit of a dip in the market. So, you know, real talk today, times are tough. I've heard it from suppliers. I've heard it from other trade businesses. I've heard it from vendors. I've heard it from everyone, right? Times are tough, so what do? I've written down some kind of key points here that I think are prevalent. So the first one is getting those numbers right. So let's say you've got Google Ads marketing, maybe you have some magnets or you have some flyers or you have something else that goes out on a weekly basis, monthly basis, whatever it is, right? So knowing those numbers is crucial. So do you know exactly how many leads are coming from the various sources that you have? And do you know what's working and what's not working? A great way to do this is if you're not already on Service Titan, I'm just going to do a quick plug there, but if you're not already on Service Titan, that program obviously allows you, for the customers that are using it, allows you to do things like have tracking numbers for every single product, every single piece of literature that you send out, whether it's a Google ad, whether it's a flyer, whether it's a magnet, you're going to be able to give a static number to those pieces of collateral so that when the phone rings, you know exactly where it's coming from. The reason this is important is that at present, you have a limited budget because sales aren't up and you need to maximize every single dollar that you've got going out of your business and flowing out of your business. So the way that we're going to do that is we're going to track better to make sure that we know exactly what's going on. So from a first point, we're going to look at that tracking. Do you have tracking set up? If you're not on Service Titan, you can do it through Go High Level, Wildjar, you know, any of those types of programs. You can start tracking your numbers straight away. You can do it manually if you want as well, and you can start looking at what's working and what's not working so that we can funnel the cash towards what's working essentially and push the budget in the right direction. The next thing we want to do is once we understand what's working, we want to just kill the stuff that's not. Get rid of it. If it's not working, you know, the beauty about marketing is the facts are the facts. Sometimes there's a little gray area. For example, if you do billboards, you do something like that, it's hard to track what that's doing because you don't know. It's the same as your van wraps. You don't know what having vans wrapped on the, you know, out in the community does for your business. I think it does an exceptionally large amount, more than we give it credit for, but at the same time, it's not trackable or traceable. So I wouldn't stop wrapping your vans. But we're going to get rid of the stuff that doesn't work. If your marketing company sucks, if they can't give you the numbers that you need, if they're not asking you, if you go back to the other video I did a few weeks ago, if you don't have a marketing company that says, hey, we want to track all your calls, and then we want to track how many people booked, and then we want to track how many people purchased from you and what the value of those purchases was, so we can help optimize with Google and we can help work out what is working and what's not working. Give them the flick, because ultimately they're having a laugh if you don't have people who actively want to help you, because there's plenty of people out there that'll take your money and, they're not going to give you the best service they can possibly give you. So ultimately, go and find somebody who really gives a damn about making sure that you are profitable and the money that you're putting into your Google ads actually equates to something, actually equals something on the other side, right? Even if you have to collect that information yourself, make sure that they're interested in knowing if it works. Because if they're not interested in knowing if it works, then, what is the purpose of this service? So this is some cold, hard truth today. So I'm going to go direct. The other one is, is moving out of the marketing field is talking about protecting that relationship that you have with your customer, making sure that you can go around and do the 1%ers, go around and make sure that you're doing happy calls, make sure that you're calling your customer back after you've served them to make sure that they were happy with the service, that you did the best you can, that you told them about the warranties that are included with the service that they've been provided. Make sure they don't have friends, neighbors, aunties, uncles that are looking for a plumber or a sparky or a HVAC or, whatever it is. Whatever you do, make sure that you are getting every single opportunity to help your customer, protect the relationship, look after them. If something's not right, for the love, am I going to say that? If something's not right, go and fix it. If you weren't already, now is the time to protect all of the relationships that you have. Now is your opportunity to do the right thing. You should have been doing the right thing all along, but if you've been, a little bit slack at getting back to people that said, hey, you fixed a tap and it's still dripping, that's not excusable. That should never have been the case. But hey, right now, go back to those people. They've worked with you. Make sure you do the right thing. Make sure you tidy that up. Make sure you get those dialed in. Make sure you make them a customer for life and do the right thing by them. So number one, tracking your marketing. Number two, protect the relationships that you already have. Number three, tighten up your sales process. Work out, what are you doing with your sales process? Are you giving people 3 options? Are you helping them make a decision so that they can move forward with their life, knowing that they've made the right decision, they've been given multiple options, they've got options with long warranties, options with a reputable company that has great 5-star reviews, options to move forward. Help people make the right choice and see the value that your business offers. And in doing that, again, you are going to see more sales coming across the line. If you've only got, let's say 60% of the leads that you had in a previous market, now's the time to make sure that we're not losing work because of basic stuff that we could have fixed, because of basic things that they're just the fundamentals of being a good salesperson and being a good home service provider. Make sure we're not letting those slide, because what tends to happen when things are busy is we just feel like it's never going to end. It's just going to continuously be busy forever. But you have to be real with yourself and say, hey, it's not going to be. So we need to make sure that we're always improving, and that we're always making sure that we make the most out of every lead. But especially now is the time to tighten up that sales process. If you don't have a sales process, there are a ton of really good sales coaches out there in Australia. I've met with quite a few of them recently. They're excellent. Get a sales coach, get their help, make sure your team knows what they're doing, and make sure the team has a process, not only for your own business, but make sure you're doing it for your people. Make sure that they know where they're going, they know where their career is now, they know where it could go. They have a process. They feel like if they've got a process that they can improve on that. And that is just part of running a great business. So make sure you do that for yourself. And this is the part that nobody wants to hear. You might have to get uncomfortable and do the stuff that doesn't scale. If you get stuck, sometimes you might have to knock on a door in a neighborhood. You'll have to go to local events. You'll have to build relationship with realtors. If you're going back into the property market, property managers market, you might have to do that for a temporary period until you can work out a way to move forward. I would not advise going backwards if you've moved out of commercial. But hey, you know what? The main thing here is that we stay focused on continuing to grow our business. If we have to throw one or two more clients back in to help keep us sustained, that is what it is, right? I think the goal here is to keep the business flowing, keep the business open, keep yourself successful. And in a time where you're just starting out, because I know a lot of the people that listen to this podcast, they're in the first 5 years of business. And when you're in the first 5 years of business, especially if you're like us, where a lot of us started with property management and then we slowly moved out of that and we moved into other avenues. We went more, direct to consumer. It gets hard, right? You're so used to seeing purchase orders or work orders coming in, things for you to do. And now all of a sudden, if the phone doesn't ring, there is no work. So transitioning out of that is really difficult. And I think, you may have to add a couple of those people back in, the good ones, if you need to. Join your local community groups. Look out for people looking for a plumber. You might have to get on High Pages. You might have to get on Airtasker. You might have to do the things that are uncomfortable to keep you moving forward. And that's just a reality. And the reality of this really, in a nutshell, is the fact that, this is just the first part of business. I would suspect that, for those of you who are listening who have got a $10 million, $20 million, $30 million business here in the country, you're probably not going to need to go back to Facebook. This is ultimately a problem that exists in the very early parts of running a business, when you don't have a huge database, when you don't have 30 years of customers, when you don't have millions of dollars to spend on Google Ads. In the early couple of years, it can be tricky. That's the time where you typically make a lot of changes to your business. You make a lot of changes to the type of services you offer, the kind of customers that you serve, and it can be tough. So if you're in that spot right now where you feel like things are a little bit tough, and I actually can tell you, I'm speaking to people who have tens of $million, let's say tens of $1 million businesses, and people who have businesses that are doing under $1 million. We speak to them all, and everyone says it's lead volume is down at the moment, right? Lead volume is down at the moment. I'm yet to meet one person so far that's told me my phone is ringing off the hook, right? So something about the market at the moment is tough, and we've got to work together on getting through this. So I think going back to the top, the real answer is know where you're succeeding. Get your stuff tracked. If you're on the way to the shop now, if you're a business owner, you're in the truck and you're on the way to the office, make the first thing that you do today working out, how do we start tracking what's working for us? Where are we putting? Write it down. We're putting this much into Google Ads. We're putting this much into into paper advertising. We put this much into magnets, whatever it is, into footy clubs. Work out how you can track that if you're not already. And please track it. Make sure you know what's working, because you'd be surprised. We actually did it recently where we found that even inside of something, so inside of, for example, Google Ads, you go, okay, we're doing okay because we're making this much from Google Ads. But you might go in there and find out that, one of your campaigns is chewing up all the budget, while the other one is only using a small amount of budget, but it's actually bringing in all the leads. So if we looked at Google Ads as a whole, it looks okay. And then we go inside and we go, hang on, there's two campaigns here. One is just chewing through money and giving us no leads. The other is actually, it's quite reasonable and we're getting all our leads from there. We need to have a look at this first one and decide, are we getting rid of it? Are we optimizing it? What are we going to do with this? Because we can't chew through money and not have any leads come out the bottom. So let's do that. Let's make sure that we're tracking our numbers. Second of all, let's make sure that our relationships are good with our customers. Walk around your office. So after you start tracking your numbers, walk around your office, have a listen to how your team is talking to their customers. Have a listen to how your team is, if you get a booking into the building, What are you going to do with it after? Is your team good at booking those calls? The amount of calls that we've heard recently where, actually spoke to an ads company the other day and they said, Mitch, my biggest challenge is that we do a great job of advertising and bringing in leads, and then the calls get to the call center or to the office and they just lose them. They lose, the customer loses interest. Even if they do or don't book them in is kind of irrelevant at this point. They were like, even if they book them in, it was such a lackluster experience that the customer just, when the technician got there, they were like, yeah, problem's over there. That they were just not interested in even engaging. Because obviously, making sure that your call center is answering the phone right is super important. It's super important. I'll put a product. We've actually got a product that a friend of ours is running. It's called Frontline Legends, and it's a CSR training platform that helps people with weekly coaching for their CSR team to make sure that they stay on track and make sure that over a number of weeks they improve significantly so that the leads that you do pay for, if you pay $200, $300, $400 for a lead on Google, when it comes in, someone doesn't go, yeah, hello, you've called ABC Plumbing. What location are you in? Or, any of that stuff. We want somebody to pick up the phone and have some energy and some empathy and some passion for the company. If you're not hearing energy, empathy, passion in your office, jump in the link below. I'll put it below. Next up is that we are going to go back and make sure that if we've got any customers who are dissatisfied, we know about it. So if you aren't doing happy calls today, implement that as well. As soon as a job is finished, whether it's 1 hour, 2 hours, 24 hours, I wouldn't go much further than 24, but call them up to ask them if they were satisfied, if we completed everything to their expectation. Don't just call them up. And I know somebody's going to say, we call them up and we ask them for a Google review. Don't just ask for the review. First, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, did we complete everything to your expectation? Or Mr. and Mrs. Jones, I just want to first and foremost say thank you for the business. Did John explain to you all of the warranties, features, and benefits that come with the service that we provided with you yesterday? Oh, he didn't? Let me walk you through that. Now, they've created a great package for you, and it comes with X, Y, and Z. If you're offering something like a free inspection later, like, we offer a 100-point inspection, or we offer a free plumbing inspection or electrical inspection, and your technician threw that in for you for free, Mrs. Jones, book it in now. Get it booked. Secure your future. Get that booked if you can. Then once you've got that booked, make sure that they're happy. And if they're not happy, tell them, we are going to make this right, and go and make it right. Make good on your promise. Go and do that for yourself, for your business, for your customer. Go and make good on it. Following on from that, if they're happy, get a review. If you're not collecting reviews, I know I'll actually have a look here just for the fun of it. Let me just have a look at some local competitors. What's the bet? Let me have a look at a couple. I'm just typing in plumber near me. Yeah, okay, cool. These guys here haven't had a review in 5 weeks. Next guy hasn't had a review in 2 weeks. Let me go one more. Okay, had one review this week, but before that hasn't had a review for 4 weeks. I mean, this is not good. Get reviews. If you're going to 10 customers' homes every day, find out what their experiences were. Reviews help other customers find you and feel confident with the service that you provide. Make sure that's dialed in. Make sure that you are protecting the relationship you have with your current customers. Tighten up your sales. Second last one. Go and tighten up that sales process. If you don't have a sales coach, put one on. Get that done. Find one, pick one. Implementing something is better than nothing. Do not strive for perfection with this. Get a sales platform. I will say some are better than others, but at this point, To some degree, I don't care. The reality is a sales process is better than no process. It doesn't matter who you sign up with. There's a ton of great people, but ultimately a process cannot be improved if it doesn't exist. So get a process. Get a process, start with it, improve on it, and then over time move to somewhere else if you feel like that's what you need to do. But tidy that stuff up. You've got the lead. You got it here at the top. It was expensive, but you got it. Make sure your sales team, your office team knows what to do with it. Then make sure that your sales team knows how to give out options and show value to the customer. And then once it's sold and it's done, make sure your installers know what they're doing. But once it's done, make sure you call up and make sure the customer feels the love and felt that the value was there and felt that you did a great job. And if you didn't, go back and fix it. And then the very last one, the piece of advice nobody wants to hear. And it's also the piece of advice that I do not like giving out, but it's a reality in this market. Try something different. If you've never taken a Facebook lead, take one. If you've never signed up to High Pages, take it. Because it's the same as the perfection. We ultimately want a specific type of customer or a specific something scalable. But the reality is at the moment, it would be better to have some leads that aren't great than have no leads at all. It's the same as it's better to have a business than to not have one at all. Sometimes it doesn't feel that way. But, at the end of the day, that's just entrepreneurship. And you got to be in for the long haul. So you might have to change your process, but you can't sit around waiting for the phone to ring. You have to take action today, and you have to make it happen. There's a video that I didn't put out. I'm going to kind of land the plane here because I went on a bit of a rant, and I don't think it came across the way that is as well as I wanted to deliver it, because I feel like I was just talking about the things that were going on for me. But in essence, boiling that video down it was all about winning the day. And it was all about winning the day happens by winning the appointment. And winning the appointment, winning the day, winning the moment, winning the hour is all super important. And that's how you win the week, and that's how you win the month, and then that's how you win the year. So if you haven't got enough leads, don't start going and sending emails and talking to people about things that are irrelevant to your business. Get on and work out how you get some more leads. Work out how your sales team can sell them. Work out how your call center can book them, and go on and have a super successful business. Just because business is down, we are in the home service industry. Toilets didn't stop blocking. Switchboards didn't stop blowing up. HVAC units didn't stop working. Well, hopefully they did stop working. But you get the gist. We are in the home service market. Maybe people aren't as interested right now in the, let's call it the ancillary stuff, like fixing or getting a new tap because they just don't like this one, or getting a new toilet because they just don't like this one. I don't believe that those people are gone by any stretch of imagination, but the average person, the average home owner here might not be in a position right now to want to spend money on ancillary stuff, but it doesn't mean that their toilets are going to stop blocking. So nobody lose hope. This is a great business and a great industry. Tough times come and go. If you're not feeling like you're in a tough time, kudos to you. Congratulations. That means you're doing something right. You probably have a great process, a great system. And even with great systems, you still have tough times. But I think this is a message for anyone who's particularly feeling like it's a little tough at the moment. This is a message from me to you to say, hang in there. Good times are coming. You only know the good times are there because of the experiencing the bad times in the past. So enjoy these moments. They won't last forever. Help continue to build your business. If you need someone to chat to, I'm always here. My team's always here. I'll pop all the links that I've talked about below. And I hope you have a super duper amazing rest of the month into the next month. And I want to thank you all for joining us today. I'm Mitch Boerner, Home Service Legends. See you soon.